I'm not gonna, don't worry, I'm not gonna sing. But what a melody. Anyway, sorry. Hello everyone, what have we here? We have the Acoustic. Now there's several reasons I want to show you this, and sorry, I did get a little bit lost in that then. Wish you were here, didn't get any better, does it? A couple of you, well, hopefully a lot of you a while ago will have seen I was on the Music Is Win channel. Thank you so much, Tyler. What a hero. And we were doing a lot of acoustic stuff. He took me to this incredibly high-end guitar store, and they were handing me guitars. I was like, my God, like one was worth $160,000, and I was like, oh God, I've dropped it by half just by touching it. But my God, it was amazing. But it reminded me of the fact that there's so many arrangements I used to do on acoustic to compensate for the fact that we used to perform live in a band, covers bands, wedding functions bands, and also as a soloist, not solo artist, whereas a solo guitarist, where I'd play just weddings and wine bars and stuff, and just do versions of tracks, and kind of incorporate the melody and stuff. But incidentally, it brings me to 2 points. I'll show you a couple of those things because I did in the video where I was in this guitar store. I was making a joke saying, obviously you're not allowed to play. But I was like, obviously, Stairway to Heaven. But the fact is, most people, they concentrate on that part. My favourite part was always the... I love those chords. But it's the 12-string part. Love that. So I used to, instead of just going, I'd incorporate the octaves on top of each one. Maybe if enough of you want to, I'll break it down. Why not? Come on. I mean, I have no problem with, I don't think they're going to try and strike me or anything, we're not earning any money off it. I'm like, you just got to celebrate the music, But anyway, I digress. The point is, I used to play, have the only acoustic guitar, and I didn't want to be carrying 12 strings. I didn't own a 12 string, so I just used my ear and figured it out, really. And I've done it on so many of them. So over time, I'll show you in the future. And again, I just thought it's a really cool thing that I used to do that I've just forgotten all about, and I've been messing around with it. Anyway, brings me on to my second point, and that is the fact that, clickbait title and all that, but it is true. As a professional guitarist, after all of the stuff I studied and everything, this is what's responsible for the most money I've ever earned. And it's because the acoustic guitar is an incredibly expressive, incredibly emotive, and an incredibly versatile instrument because it literally is just your strings and your fingers and your hands and stuff. You have amplification to a degree, but you're not going to get any tube screwbers or any weird, well, I guess you could. There was a guy called Eric Sardinas who used to whack a massive distortion pedal in a slide and all that. God, he was bad. Anyway, I digress. My point is, when it comes to being a songwriter, an artist and stuff, I used to sit there and literally just, the acoustic and the artist, this is not threatening at all. And it was the same with performing publicly. Like, if you turn up with a little acoustic, you can play kind of anywhere. If you're rolling in a big, Marshall stack, and your bandmates have got like dog collars on and stuff like that, it can frighten a lot of people, and you'd be surprised how few gigs there are to do that kind of thing. Loads of funny stories for another point. But literally learning the acoustic and the basic chords and the variations, inversions, voice lead and all that stuff, all stuff I will plug in my method, darling, because I wanted to say, it's just, I can't believe I've had the channel for so long, and I don't really think I've done that much acoustic stuff, yet it made up the majority of my career, not just in the studio, but songwriting and stuff, and, performances, it was all acoustic. And I did at one point, I built a very, quite a in-depth fingerstyle, really, because that's what it's all about. Even though I did do a lot of the bluegrass as well, doing that. Anyway, all that real fast picking stuff, because I do love it, everyone knows I love it. But the majority of stuff I'd be performing and writing with was all there. Things like, if any of you folk players remember, like I've got the old capo here, or a capo, depending on how posh you are. Anyone remember? Or a bit of Bert Jansch, bit of folk music. I'll perform that properly all the way through for my father, he'll love that one. But anyway, the whole point here is the dynamics and stuff are so vast with the acoustic, because it literally is, you're reliant on just this. No signal chain, no nothing. And it used to be brilliant turning up to the gigs, just having a microphone, literally. Or you could have one of those ones where you could tape on and stuff. But you look at guys like Tommy and Manuel, who's just, again, in my opinion, possibly the greatest guitarist out there. And then you've got the modern day heroes doing all that stuff, all that, which I did do a little bit. I studied some Preston Reed when I was younger, so maybe I'll dig those out. Who knows? But I do look forward to doing a lot of this sort of stuff in the future. And I'll just show you, just for example, thank you all so much for listening to my album. It's on Spotify and Apple or whatever. But I'll just show you the difference in tone the difference between using nails and fingers and then individual fingers there. And then I'll let you in on a little secret. So anyway, just let me show you the rhythm part for the Heart of Eli. It's like the second track on my album, but very, very low key. But just listen to the difference when I open it up into the chorus, into the verse and then into the chorus. Anyway, just have a look at this. See the different amount of tones I'm getting there from using nails to just using the fingers and stuff. A little secret I'll just show you. The solo section of that. Oh, listen to them chords. But then here. This bit. It's my favourite thing ever. Recognise that? Is this love? Total Stolar. I'm feeling. Is this the love? 'Cause it's real. Hey, You see, some people will think it's all, folk and Spanish and all that type of stuff, and I'm like, nah, man, it's Whitesnake, isn't it? Bit of again, it's kind of a nod to Adrian Vandenberg, even though it was John Sykes, I think, but there was Adrian Vandenberg and Dave Coverdale did a Starkers in Tokyo album, and it was literally Adrian Vandenberg just did all these arrangements on acoustic, and I remember studying them relentlessly. Adrian Vandenberg, incidentally, has written one of the best acoustic pieces ever, which is Sailing Ships. Brilliant. Anyway, I don't know if warble on, I'm sorry. I just wanted to show you that and just say, yeah, even if you don't care, I'm just going to do all of the acoustic stuff and dig it out because it's a lot of fun and it's very cool to work on the dynamics. And also playing this guitar like these especially, I've got 13, 14 hybrids on here, so the strings are massive. And to work on that technique, it's different to the gypsy thing. It's very much a traditional bluegrass, flat picking kind of thing. It's very, very difficult to get those notes in there. Oh god, it's hard. Much harder than on electric. Oh, electric's well easy compared to this thing, so it's good to push myself. Anyway, sorry, I go on. It's just, that is the fact. This is your friend, and I think the biggest tip ever for every shred lick you learn, or every, used to be for me, Joe Satriani song I'd try and learn, or like I don't know, anything obscure, whatever periphery track or polyphia track you're working on right now, or whatever it is, while you're there, you may as well learn a Beatles song as well, or a James Taylor song or something like that, purely because it's so much more accessible for a lot of people. So you don't end up the guy who sat there and they're like, play me something, and you play them. It happened to me. I'll go into it in another time, but I remember people were just like, can you play something? And I played them some sort of obscure Joe Satriani thing, and they didn't understand it, this crowd. And then a young lad played a song by The Shadows, which Hank Marvin, incidentally, and they thought it was great, and it was literally, oh no, it was a, but then also there was a guy doing, which was Buddy Holly, and the whole crowd thought it was great. And here's me trying to go, and they didn't know what it was, and they were just like, and I'm there going like that, yeah, come on. And they all laughed at me. Anyway, don't let me digress. I just thought I'd introduce this little thing, and then look out for loads of cool things in the future, loads of cool covers, and endless rambling on acoustic. Remember, acoustic is your friend, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much. Make sure you like and subscribe. Chris tells me to say that. And subscribe to The Method. Everyone come and join my school, because it's what's letting me do this full time again. Thank you so much. It means everything. And join the podcast with me and Rick, Fretboards and Self-Destruction. All the links will be in there. And can't wait for that to get started. And here's to the future, because it's bright. Thank you so much.